Most women believe that self-pleasure is something private, something simple, something that could not possibly cause harm. It feels natural, comforting, and familiar, almost like brushing your teeth or taking a warm bath at night. But what if the very habits that once felt harmless are now quietly working against your body? I have seen women go from a place of confidence and sensitivity to a place of soreness, irritation, and even silent loss of sensation, all because they continued patterns that no longer suited their changing bodies. Yet I have also seen women make just a few gentle changes and rediscover a comfort and depth of pleasure that they thought was long behind them. And that is exactly what we are going to uncover today. Because many women over 60 do not realize that certain private rituals, the ones we rarely speak of, can actually put our health and intimacy at risk. Today we are going to discuss what really works for self-pleasure after 60, and how to avoid the habits that may secretly harm your body. Welcome back to the Female Health Hub, where we bring women honest, compassionate, and evidence-based guidance about the changes that come with age. I am Dr. Lia Parker. I have been a gynecologist and intimate psychologist for more than 30 years, and I am also a woman who has felt these changes myself. That means I understand not only the medical side, but also the emotional and personal side of this journey. Today we are exploring how private, everyday habits of self-pleasure can either protect your sensitivity and health, or quietly cause harm if left unchecked. And this is not only based on opinion. According to research published in the Journal of the American Medical Association, postmenopausal women who continue healthy intimate activity often maintain more resilient tissues, better blood flow, and greater comfort compared to those who stop completely. The science confirms what I have seen in my own patients again and again. Your choices matter, even, and perhaps especially in these private moments. So let us begin. Many women tell me, "I used to know exactly how to make it work. A few quick touches, and my body responded." That was true when blood flow was faster, hormones were steadier, and tissues were more supple. But after 60, your body is not broken, it is simply different, and when you keep forcing the old shortcuts, you risk irritation, soreness, and even small micro-tears that make intimacy less enjoyable in the long run. Ellen, a 74-year-old woman I saw one quiet afternoon, leaned forward and whispered, "I think I've been hurting myself, and I didn't even know." She had been using the same method she always had, expecting the same quick spark, but instead, she felt raw afterward, and the next day she noticed a faint burning when she used the bathroom. She thought something was wrong with her body, but what was really wrong was the pace she demanded of it. Your body's rhythm has changed. Arousal now prefers to rise slowly, like the sun crossing a room, instead of flicking on like a light switch. Blood vessels need a longer introduction, nerves need more gentle repetition before they respond fully. If you continue the old way, fast, hard and direct, you may not only lose sensation, but also train your body to associate pleasure with discomfort. The solution is not complicated, but it does require patience. Begin with areas away from your most sensitive spot: your thighs, your belly, even your neck. Let warmth spread before you go directly to your clitoris. Think of it as a dance where the music starts softly and gathers, not as a drumbeat that begins at full volume. When you allow this new rhythm, two things happen. The tissues respond more fully, giving you a deeper and steadier sensation, and the soreness that used to appear afterward quietly fades away. It is not about chasing the old spark, it is about discovering the new glow, and when you give yourself permission to move with your body's current pace, you protect your sensitivity instead of wearing it down. Too often, women see self-pleasure as something purely physical, a quick act to release tension. That mindset might have worked decades ago, but after 60, it can leave you feeling strangely empty. If you rush through the motions without tuning in, you may reach an ending without ever feeling truly satisfied, and when that emptiness repeats, you begin to wonder if something inside you has faded. But here is the truth: your body has not abandoned you. What has changed is the role self-pleasure plays in your overall well-being. It is no longer only about release, it is about restoration. When approached with awareness, those quiet moments can calm anxiety, soothe restlessness, and even lift the weight of loneliness that sometimes creeps in. I often tell my patients, this is not just a body act, it is a heart act. I remember one woman in her late 60s who confessed that she had been treating it like a chore. I get it over with, like folding laundry, she said. But when she slowed down, when she lit a small candle, when she paused to breathe, when she let her hand rest softly on her own skin, as if greeting a dear friend, something shifted. She stopped rushing toward climax and started inhabiting the moment. For the first time in years, she felt not just physical relief, but emotional fullness. This is where many women unknowingly harm themselves, not by the touch itself, but by disconnecting from it. When you treat it as mechanical, you miss out on the hormones your brain is ready to give you: oxytocin, dopamine, serotonin, the very chemicals that help regulate mood, reduce stress, and ease sleep. Ignoring this layer means denying your body medicine it is still capable of creating. So the next time you turn to yourself, pause before you begin. Feel your breath. Notice the quiet around you. Let it be a small ritual of kindness rather than a hurried routine. Because the danger is not only physical injury. The danger is forgetting that this is still a vital way of caring for yourself. One of the greatest mistakes I see women make after 60 is deciding that intimacy no longer matters. They tell themselves it is behind them, that they no longer need it, or that it is somehow improper at this stage of life. But when self-pleasure disappears completely, the body begins to change in ways that make returning to it later more difficult and sometimes painful. Your intimate tissues, like your muscles and joints, respond to use. When they are stimulated regularly, blood flow increases, tissues stay elastic, and nerves remain alert. But when they are ignored, the opposite happens. The lining of the vagina thins, the small blood vessels that feed the clitoris weaken, the tissues lose their supple quality, and sensation that once came easily becomes harder to find. I once had a patient, Maria, who was 71. She told me she had not touched herself in more than a decade. That part of my life is over, she said. But when she tried to reconnect after beginning a new relationship, she found the tissues so delicate that even gentle touch left her sore. It took months of careful retraining, lubrication, and slow exercises to restore the comfort she once had naturally. Her biggest regret was not that she had aged, but that she had neglected herself for so long. This is not about pressure or performance, it is about gentle maintenance. A few minutes, even once or twice a week, is often enough to keep circulation flowing and nerves awake. Think of it as stretching, not dramatic, not forced, just consistent care that prevents stiffness and decline. Science supports this. In a study published in the Journal of the American Medical Association, postmenopausal women who engaged in regular sexual activity, whether alone or with a partner, showed less vaginal atrophy than those who were inactive. The takeaway is clear: your body still responds to touch, but only if you invite it to. Ignoring this truth is risky. Silence does not protect you, it erodes you, and the most powerful step you can take is not to give up on yourself, but to honor this part of your health as essential, not optional. Another risk that many women overlook is falling into repetition, doing the exact same thing, the exact same way every single time. For some, that means always reaching for a high-powered vibrator. For others, it means repeating the same pressure and spot with their own hand. At first it feels reliable, even comforting, but over time, the nerves can grow numb to variation, and gentler touch begins to feel muted. What once worked like magic becomes the only doorway left open, while every other path seems to close. I know this not only from listening to patients, but from living it myself. For a while I relied on one device. It was fast, efficient, and predictable. But then I noticed something: my own hands no longer felt the same. The softer warmth I used to enjoy seemed to lull. It was as if my body had forgotten how to answer to anything but that one strong rhythm, and that is a form of harm we rarely talk about: the quiet narrowing of sensation. One woman I treated, Helen, described it in her 70s. It's like my body only hears one kind of music now, and everything else is silent. When she stopped relying solely on her vibrator and began mixing in slower, lighter touch, her sensitivity began to return. It took time, but she told me later, it feels like the volume is turning back up again across my whole body. That my B-wade is why variety matters. Your clitoral network is broad, not just one small spot, tracing your thighs, circling around the hips, brushing the lower back. These awaken different nerve pathways that all feed into pleasure, even when using a device. Lowering the intensity, changing patterns, or alternating with your hands can keep your body responsive. Repetition is not harmless. It can secretly train your body into a corner, narrowing what you are able to feel, but with gentle variation, you not only protect sensitivity, you often discover new depths of pleasure you did not know were still available. One of the most common yet dangerous mistakes I see women make after 60 is neglecting lubrication. Many say, "I never needed it before, so why start now?" But the truth is that as estrogen decreases, the tissues become thinner and more fragile. Without enough moisture, friction can create tiny tears, invisible cuts that may sting, burn with urination, or leave you sore for days. Some women even develop recurring infections simply because they resist using something as simple as a gentle lubricant. The safest choice is usually a plain, water-based option, especially for sensitive tissue. For longer sessions, silicone-based lubricants can offer smoother comfort without constant reapplication. What matters is kindness. No fragrances, no warming chemicals, no harsh additives. Your skin deserves the same care you would give to your face, soft, nourishing, and clean. A little protection here prevents a cascade of discomfort later. And then there are the whispers your body gives you, whispers too many women ignore. I think of Susan, a 69-year-old woman, who told me her pleasure felt muted, like there's a thin layer of fabric between me and myself. She had also noticed occasional itching, and a burning sensation afterward, but she dismissed it as just age. When she finally came to see me, she was diagnosed with early lichen sclerosis, a condition that thins and scars skin if left untreated. With care she healed, and with relief in her eyes, she said, "I wish I had listened sooner." Not is the final, most important warning: never ignore new pain, persistent itching, or changes in sensitivity. These are not signs of weakness. They are your body's way of asking for attention before the problem grows louder. Early help means simpler solutions, quicker healing, and the return of comfort you thought was gone. When I think back to Ellen, the woman whose quiet confession began this conversation, I remember how small her changes were: warming up slowly, adding lubrication, setting aside her strongest vibrator for a while, and yet those small adjustments restored not only her pleasure but her confidence. "It feels softer but somehow deeper," she told me, smiling. "That is what I want for you." So remember this circle: learn your new rhythm, honor the emotional side, keep tissues active, vary your touch, embrace lubrication, and never ignore your body's whispers. Your sexuality is not behind you, it is still alive, still yours, and still worth protecting. If this conversation has helped you, I would love to hear from you in the comments. Tell me what resonated, or share what you wish more women knew. And if you would like to see me create a video about simple daily routines that keep intimacy easy and pain-free, let me know. I would be honored to make that for you. Subscribe if you would like to stay in our circle, because no matter your age, you deserve not just health but wholeness.